I have a question. Does anyone know what the hell is going on anymore? I mean, it seems like every 5 seconds there's something else going on. Um, I I don't know what the future holds anymore. I don't even know what I want for myself anymore. I've been so confused on what I need to be doing in my life to live comfortably, because the new requirement to live comfortably is no longer making $70,000 a year or $60,000 a year. It's now, oh, if you're not making $90,000 to $100,000 a year, you can kiss comfortability goodbye. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Because I don't know what to do. God, I look like such a mess. The dark circles under my eyes. Yeah. I've been put through the ringer. I don't know what to do. I no longer know what to say, what to do, what job I can try and apply to, what job I can possibly work so that I can just be left alone somewhere living comfortably. I've been working so many years in customer service and in sales, retail, that I no longer want to be around people. I've gotten so sick of it. And I can't just quit because I'm not making nowhere near enough to live somewhere comfortably. And I feel like there are other people my age in other countries around the world who just don't have this problem. I feel like people my age, whatever position they're working right now, they're able to keep more than 75% of their paycheck to themselves. You're lucky if you're even able to keep 25 of your paycheck, to 25% of your paycheck here in the States, because all it's going to is foreign wars that don't interest anybody, certainly not a positive interest for anybody, to rent, to utilities, to bills, to gas, to groceries, to insurance companies, to keep your overworked, underpaid behind alive. And so what you're left with is chump change. This isn't sustainable. And what's sad about it is that the politicians, they know it's not sustainable. They know it's not sustainable. They know it is. They know that there's no way that people can live like this. But they keep making policies, they keep making changes to make it harder for people to get ahead and to keep those who are lucky enough to be ahead, stay ahead. We're being screwed over, not by people who make, in a sense of grain of rice, less than a single grain of rice than us. We're being screwed over by the people who make 12 bags of rice. If you want to think about our finances and currency that way. And we all know there's a big bad person with the initials EM who makes 24 big bags of rice compared to the rest of us. So here's my problem. How do you hope to keep the billions of the millions and millions of Americans in the United States sustained? How do you hope to feed them, keep them happy, keep them capacitated so that they're not itching to revolt as we are now, so that we aren't itching to take drastic measures that leads to the ultimate sacrifice as we are now, when we can't afford food? When I graduated college and I left my mom and my stepdad's house, I went and rented. Granted, it was a crappy apartment, but I was doing it. Granted, I could barely afford food because most of my paycheck went into rent. And that's why I barely have any money now, because for the first time, it's taken about 2 years to do it, but I actually have a savings account now. It's nothing to write home about. It's barely anything at all, but it's something. I'm pushing 30 and I've got barely anything in my savings account, but it's something. It's more than what I had before. And what's sad is that it's not just me. It's almost everybody in my generation. If you didn't have parents who are filthy rich, who weren't giving you $40,000, $60,000 in your savings account just because, you're like me. And yes, some members of my family do incredibly well, like over $600,000 a year, real well. But I'm not a parasite. I'm a human being, and I like to work hard for what I have. My problem is that I've worked incredibly hard for 6 years of my life and I barely have anything at all. That's where the problem is. I'm sorry if these past 2 videos have been incredibly Debbie Downer, but I feel like there isn't enough YouTubers, or isn't enough content, period. I can't even call myself a YouTuber. I don't have a following. But I feel like there's not enough people, period, who are talking about realistic things. It's all fantasy land. It's all, oh, look what I can buy with this sponsor, and let me shove this sponsorship down your throat. Now, there's nothing, I don't have anything against sponsorships. Not at all. If that's how you need to make your money, if that's how you need to make a living, by all means do it. I am not against that. If I ever had the opportunity to be sponsored by, can you imagine me be sponsored by anything? I'd be jumping for joy. But there's not enough people who are making videos or making content, period, whether you're a YouTuber or just a nobody like myself, that is realistic, that is, what's the word? Relatable? Things are too bad in our society right now to keep posting stuff that is out of a fairy tale. We need to sit here and ground ourselves and look at reality. The economy is in shambles. This isn't a post about, Trump or Biden. Okay? It's not about that. In my opinion, as an independent, they're both terrible. And let's be realistic. Let's just be for real. But also, as an independent, I can say that I did agree with things that both had said, but I can also disagree that from both had said. Okay? I'm not loyal to either one of them. I'm not going to sit here and enslave myself to one party or another when I can sit here and look and see for a fact that both have done good things and both have done terrible things. And on both sides of the political spectrum, the negative outweighs the positive. We've been screwed over by both political parties in some sense or the other. Let's just be real. With that aside, what is my generation to do? What are we to do? We keep being told, oh, work harder, put in more hours. I put in more hours than what others that I work with would like to admit. Okay? I work the hours that they don't want to work. Doesn't get me anywhere. Hasn't gotten me anywhere for 6 years. Now, obviously not all the same company, but similar jobs, it hasn't gotten me anywhere. And that's embarrassing to admit. I hate saying that I've wasted 6 years of my life putting 150% into everything, trying to follow all the rules, trying to be the best that I could be. But sometimes my mistakes outweigh everything that I've done right. And unfortunately, we live in a society where your mistakes, like being, let's say, for example, being over or under a till. Let's say, for example, accidentally letting somebody walk out. Or a customer leaving because you're not there right at the drop of a dime. Now, obviously, if you make it a habit, it's a problem. But if you're not making these things habits, it shouldn't be the reason why you're not respected. It shouldn't be the reason why you can't be promoted. It shouldn't be the reason why you just can't be enough. Another thing that I want to say is that some of these problems should not be as big of an issue as they want you to believe it is, considering how much money some of these companies make. These companies make multi-billions every single year. Being over or under, losing a customer because you're not there at a flash should not be a make or break, should not be this overwhelmingly big deal. You make multi-billions. And no, I'm not talking about a singular company. I'm talking about them all. It's just a little ironic to me, and it's very comical, and it's very disingenuous. Because while CEOs make away with $14, $16 million bonuses on top of what they make a year, it's laughable. And the sad part is that they think we don't know. Of course we know. Of course we know what you're making a year. Of course we know. We understand how you move in the business. Maybe not everyone, but I certainly do. Enough about that, I guess, because in the end, it doesn't matter. It's shame on me for staying. It's shame on me for continuously trying to make myself better in a place where it doesn't matter. You don't move up, no matter what you do. I've worked in certain companies longer than others, and I've seen them be promoted far sooner than I have. Maybe it's the way I look. Maybe it's my personality. I don't know. I wish I did, because then I'd change it immediately. But at the end of all ends, it doesn't matter. My question is, again, what is our generation to do? We have nothing. Houses are unattainable. Rent, impossible. Groceries. TF. WTF. That's all I can say. Is WTF. What are we to do? Let's be real. What are we to do? There's nothing we can do. And once again, I'd like to reiterate, and maybe I said this in another video, maybe it was this one, I don't remember, because my memory sucks. I feel like other young adults my age in other countries are just not having this problem. I could be wrong. Now, I'm not saying other countries don't have their financial problems, because of course they do. Every country does. But I feel like the financial inequality between the ultra mega rich and everyone else is not this bad. I feel like the financial gap between the classes are not this wide. And I know for a fact that the living expenses are nowhere near this high. They aren't taxed. Some are. Like Germany, for instance. I think they're taxed more than we are. But there are countries who are not taxed nearly as much as we are. Another thing that is an issue is that there's always a precursor for decently paid jobs in the work field. You need to have 5 to 10 years of experience. You need to have a certification on top of a certification. You need to have this many hours of this certain field for an entry level. These are unnecessary prerequisites to entry level, somewhat decently paying jobs. Just say in your job description that you're not willing to train these people. Just say that. Don't sit here and waste people's time saying that they need 5 to 10 years of experience or relative experience. How are we supposed to get relative experience when, like you, other jobs who are offering somewhat relative experience are not going to hire you unless you have relative experience in something else? It's unrealistic. It's borderline impossible. I've wasted too much time. I even feel like I'm wasting time now trying to get a certification in paralegalism. Because the jobs that are entry level, required for most decently paying paralegal jobs, you need at least 2 years of a law office, pre-requirement, and which are, office jobs, which would be like a legal assistant. Legal assistants are not quite paralegals. It's kind of a gray area depending on the office and depending on what you're certified to do and what you're not certified to do. But technically, legal assistants are right under paralegals, and they do the office work. They do the setting up the appointments for attorneys or setting up appointments for certain paralegals, and they handle the paperwork and the phone calls and the scheduling. That's what they do. For some reason, when I'm trying to apply for that relative, related-esque paralegal work, I get interviewed, but then I never get hired. I get calls, but then I never get called again. So what is my generation to do? Indeed, as much as I've been a stan for Indeed throughout the years, you've become more like maybe? Question mark? Possibly? You're not Indeed anymore. You're good luck. So that's my generation's problem. And my question is, what are we to do? Because the typical response of you just need to work harder. You just need to be better with this. You just need to be better with that. It's not enough anymore. Okay? Things have gotten too bad, too serious, too fast for that to be the answer anymore. So what are we to do? What am I specifically to do? Because I don't know. If anyone has an answer, go ahead, comment and answer. Because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. So yeah, I guess that's the video. I don't have an answer. I no longer know what to do.